Welcome to Education Without Borders. In this episode, we want to discuss a problem that is very common in Kenya, especially in the urban areas. Anytime it rains, and remember, rains in the tropical areas, tropical climates are quite predictable. We know that there will be rains at a particular season. But anytime it rains, you'll find that our roads end up being the rivers. When the road infrastructure is designed, if you have noticed, you always find that there are drainages, open channels. Most of the time, there are open channels on the sides. And these open channels are part of the design, part and parcel of a design of a road, especially if this is to bituminous or even if it's not. There's always a drainage, and the road surface slopes towards that drainage. And as we say, those drainages are usually open channels. So drainages can either be open or closed. So we are talking about open channels, which most of the time they also they're interjected by closed channels along the way. Now, what happens is that on those open channels, you find citizens throwing solid waste. And in the design of a drainage system, that is not expected. And of course, what happens is that there will be blockages. And water will always flow, is supposed to flow to the lowest level, to the rivers. And when you block this water from flowing to the lowest levels, to the valleys, to the river valleys, and eventually to dams and even to the sea, if it is blocked, it just floods and flows back onto the road. And therefore, you find our roads becoming rivers, and lives have even, and property has been lost because of this flooding. And most of the time you find we blame the government, we blame politicians, we blame it on corruption without looking back. When you point a finger at all those entities, you don't forget you're pointing more fingers at yourself. Ask yourself, am I contributing to blocking the drainages? So this lesson is a campaign, so that each one of us, every time you're throwing trash somewhere, or you are just allowing solid waste to just be swept away without being properly managed, then you are contributing to that menace. Don't point a finger at government, don't point a finger at county, don't point a finger at the politicians, point a finger at yourself and ask yourself, have I managed my solid waste? Because this garbage, the trash that you throw all over the streets, on the road, you find somebody taking water and throwing an empty bottle on the road. It's not biodegradable. So eventually it finds its way to the drainages. And what happens? Those drainages were never designed to be able to handle that kind of trash. So the trash ends up blocking. And therefore, that's why we find the rains are predictable. Meteorological department keeps warning, giving us warnings. But every time it rains, no matter how little it ends up distracting. And it comes with economic costs, disruption of businesses, especially for the communities who get affected. Let us take the responsibility as citizens and do our bit. Everybody else does their bit, then we shall have a resilient infrastructure. Instead of all the time saying there's some weakness, yet it could be part of the maintenance, but also that maintenance is overloaded by cultural attitudes. Our attitudes about solid waste, about who will come and collect it behind you. Let us take responsibility. Let's have a campaign to keep our drainages clear of debris. so that we don't keep crying every time it rains that our roads are flooded, that I arrived home at 1 p.m., that I slept on the road, that my car was washed away, and a lot of property is lost and lost in these floods. Let us keep ourselves responsible. Let's be responsible for our infrastructure. This is Education Without Borders. On this episode, we wanted to our campaign to keep our drainages clear of debris. Thank you for watching. We shall be back with more.